Hello, my name is Mathew,
I'm Vikram.
And I'm Sujal.
and today we'll be talking about the impacts of climate change / sea level rise in Bangladesh. Some background information about Bangladesh is that it is a coastal country that is bordered almost entirely by India and a sliver in the southeast by Myanmar. The country holds about 170 million people, and the annual GDP per capita is a little less than $2,000. Even though Bangladesh receives an ample amount of rainfall, it is currently actually running out of clean drinkable water. There's a few reasons for this. One of the reasons is that water is not in a stable amount constantly throughout the year because monsoons are not constant throughout the year. The other reason is that groundwater is at risk of pollution or is already polluted, and therefore about half the population does not have access to clean drinkable water. In terms of topography, most of Bangladesh is under 6 meters above sea level. In this picture to the left right here, it shows that in the green is the area that's about 6 meters below or above sea level or less. And urban areas and most of the population is within this green zone. So most industrial and most of the population in the whole economy is at risk of sea level rise.
As for the ecology of Bangladesh, most of the country is a delta for the Ganges and the Brahmaputra rivers, which are highlighted in red. And as you can see, it leads to a lot of biodiversity and rich rainforests in the surrounding areas. But these rivers, along with the melting Himalayan ice to the northwest, and the flooding of the inland bodies of water, such as lakes and other rivers, all contribute to a massive flooding problem in Bangladesh. And as for the challenges in the country, the increased flooding and the increase of the wetlands lead to increased erosion, especially of agricultural land. And near the coast, there's massive losses of life and losses of livelihood. Two big areas where this is a problem is fishing and tourism, which take a big hit. And the increase in global temperatures and the decreasing amount of rain leads to another public health crisis. And the floods and cyclones that often occur in Bangladesh also cause the food supply and the infrastructure to take a hit, and other critical services that are important for survival. On top of this, sea level is rising at a consistent rate of 7 millimeters per year. And this is only an average measurement. During high tide, the sea levels increase greatly, and this could cause major flooding and potential tsunamis. And this causes major damage to coastal cities and agricultural lands.
Bangladesh is located right next to the Bay of Bengal, which is a massive body of tropical water. What this means is, unfortunately for Bangladesh, they are often hit by cyclones, which kill millions, either directly through the effects of wind and rainfall, or indirectly through the destruction of food supply and disease spreading. Now, these cyclones are associated with strong flooding, which destroys cities, farms, and other areas necessary for survival, but also climate change, which is leading to the increasing sea level rise in the first place, will also lead to a higher risk of heat waves. And as more water seeps inland, mortality due to heat stroke and wet bulb temperature will increase. This is because humidity will increase due to the more water present. And since the temperature is also increasing, it may reach a point where it becomes impossible for the human body to shed heat fast enough to survive. Now, for surviving till 2050, Bangladesh must take a few steps. First, it must diversify to create opportunities for communities and businesses, which may lose their current way of life. The second is, in order to combat the clean water crisis, Bangladesh must invest in rainwater harvesting and pond sand filters, especially in places like the villages. And a third simple option is just to avoid new development in coastal locations prone to major flooding, so more people aren't put in the way of life-threatening events. And finally, an innovative manner might just be breakwaters, seawalls, and or dikes. Though expensive, they will be very effective in preventing any flooding risks to major populated areas. And for long-term solutions, one is to build health centers so the affected are able to access necessary care. Another is sediment-based interventions to limit the coastal erosion and flood risk, where we bring dirt and sand from the inner regions to the coast to build back beaches. And finally, advancing institutional structures and capacity so it is sufficient for mainstreaming adaptation and disaster management would be beneficial. And here are the works cited.